Welcome to Common Pitfalls. Today we're going to talk about using the same cues over and over again. One trap that a lot of new instructors fall into is that they find a good cue or set of cues that they really like, maybe one way of saying how to do the exercise, and they just stick to it. They never deviate and they're always saying the exact same thing. So the problem with this? Well, if your client does not quite fully understand what you're saying, you're not giving them any variety to choose from in terms of understanding what you're talking about. Most clients never want to ask questions because they feel stupid, like they should have gotten it. Some of them will, but they don't like doing it. What they would prefer is that you explain it thoroughly the first time so that they can get it without having to ask questions. So you always need to remember that you and your client have different relationship with words. And by what I mean is that, you grew up hearing a word used a certain way in a certain context, and so you utilize it in that same way. Well, your client may have grown up somewhere different or just with different parents, and so they have a different relationship and understanding of what that word means. So remember this when you're giving your cues, and you want to try to vary it up so that you don't fall into a rut where they're not understanding what you're saying. Now this comes in a couple different ways that you can apply this. So first off, I encourage you when you do your observation hours to gather as many different images and ways of saying put your arm there, put your leg there as possible. Listen to other instructors, and even if you're not crazy about that cue, keep it. I tell a story oftentimes of an instructor that used to have this one phrase that I just thought was a terrible image. I kind of captured it, but it didn't ring my bell, and I just kind of didn't like it. Well, I had this one client, and they were not getting my best imagery. I had lots of different things, kept saying it. Finally, I pulled out that imagery that did not make any sense to me. They got it. Totally got it. So that person related to words like the other instructor did, not like I did. And that doesn't make them a bad or a good person. It just makes them different. So even if you're not crazy about the cue, as long as it's correct, keep it. Keep it in your toolbox. That is one of the big important parts of doing observation hours, is to gather cues. If a client is not responding to what you're doing and what you're saying, change it. Don't beat a dead horse. Use something different. So this means that if you say, lift your right leg, and they don't lift the right leg. Lift your right leg. Your right leg needs to go up. Say it differently. Say, draw this leg up to the sky, or touch your big toe to the sky, or something different that's relating different things up there, to get them to really listen and pay attention. Also, it's important to use a variety of different types of cues. Sometimes if your cues auditorily are not striking the client to where they understand and get what you're talking about, you can use your hands and give them some manual cues. You be careful where you're touching, but you can, give them a little cue. Also, you can do a little bit of demonstrating, like leg up, and you're saying leg, but you're getting the up motion with your arm. So it's not really demonstrating, it's really more just giving a visual cue of what you're wanting them to do. So just remember, don't keep saying the same cue over and over again. Try to say the same exercise different ways between different lessons, or even between different reps. Try to give them a different relationship to the exercise by saying it different ways. One thing that I'll give you as a little anecdotal evidence for this is that in our studio, we vary. A lot of our clients take with different instructors, and they find that that's a really helpful thing because different instructors say the cues different ways, so they get a different experience even if they're doing the same lesson plan. So it can really help you to go deeper, not necessarily by doing a different exercise, but just hearing the cues differently, whether that be from another instructor or just from you choosing the variety.